afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing Propagandacast from your host and Imperial, the one, the only master of propaganda. Off a top 1 vs 1 on crossing in the woods. In the north, it is PFC fighting for the Oberkommando Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 9th Panzer Division West and South, it is G.A.T fighting for America, democracy, freedom, capitalism. Taking on the role here of the 6th Armoured, we got Elite Armoured, we got Overwatch, and we got Special Operations versus Recon Support, Mechanized, and Urban Assault, with Triple Infantry there for G.A.T, Medical Supplies, and Goliaths for PFC. Double Focus start here for PFC with Double Rifle start there for G.A.T. And as always, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and press the bell button. Yeah, I know, I hate doing this, but you know, it's the best way to actually get some attention on that department. We got troops heading out there for G.A.T, though, moving eastwards. In fact, that is also where PFC is at least designating some of his forces, though at the same time he's also making a push for the west. So he's going for a broader approach here, whereas G.A.T is aiming for that more focused approach, because usually if you're trying to spread out, there's the Oberkommando West, they can usually sort of like, you know, ambush you with a Sturmpioneer squad, in which case things tend to go a bit sour. But if you sort of concentrate and focus your forces, usually have a better chance dealing with them, particularly if they do spread out like this. So G.A.T here also, by the way, is going for Mechanized Company, going here for a fast dart truck there. That's going to be difficult for the Oberkommando to deal with in the early game, since they lack Panzerfaust and the sort of ways of dealing with a fast dart truck. So G.A.T here obviously having that one in pick there. It's actually been some time since we've seen Mechanized Company, sort of slightly been forgotten here, but G.A.T clearly bringing back some of the old favourites. Quickly popping in. He's basically looking to restore the Sturmpioneers and getting the riflemen to also deal with the Sturmpioneers. We have a chance here of killing them if PFC pushes his luck. Dart truck out there, focusing on the way there, moving in rifle. He's probably going to try and pop them into the house here, deny it to the Sturmpioneers, since he doesn't want them to get in there. It's going to be a bastard for him to deal with. Glaciers need to get out of the dart truck moving ahead. He's going to probably use it to flash out the Sturmpioneers. West side, meanwhile, is seeing a very nice amount of ground there taken by PFC. Again, he's just stalling and buying time here against G.A.T with the other Sturmpioneers. But there you go, dart truck moving in. That's going to be a retreat here for PFC, as now there's a good chance of losing the Sturmpioneers. Maybe sticks around for longer than, you know, necessary. Back here, we got a fast platoon command post as well there for G.A.T, going into double rifle and dart truck. Definitely not your usual, but at the same time, I suppose not too unusual either. It's hardly unique. By the way, got to kill the Sturmpioneers. Lost a few reactions into the process, but of course now he has to dart truck out, and of course it's more important signal to PFC that he needs to be careful. Otherwise, G.A.T's going to come knocking on his door and deliver some freedom. Folks, the guys towards the center victory point. Back here, Reason's good to go. Lieutenant halfway done. PFC, I imagine, is going to go here for Mechanized, ready to put pressure there on G.A.T in return. He could go for a faster battle group headquarters for Panzerfaust, maybe some other stuff, but with the spec up, there's a possibility Mechanized ready and just looks Puma could certainly be happening. Focus routed. Folks, they're trying to hold up, but again, there's the dart truck. They do lack that ability, and they go blocking the entrance but driving straight into the door. It's just sort of being in the way. Still, the Folks managed to jump over it. It seems to just get into the door. Seems like Jürgen was not quite fast enough. Folks jump out from the north, need to pull back the dart truck. He's getting focused down heavily there by PFC. Lieutenant out as well there. Could try and go for some early 50 calibers to deal with all of PFC's infantry. Schwerer, Wehrmachtschlepper out, and we got cavalry riflemen out here for G.A.T as well. So interesting setup there. Couple of riflemen, the lieutenant, and of course cavalry riflemen with Thompsons can be quite effective inside the dart truck to just really deliver heavy infantry damage. We'll have to see what he follows up with next. Fix up the dart truck. Looks like it's going to pop those cavalry riflemen into it, or maybe not, maybe not. I mean, dart truck filled with cavalry riflemen upgrades again are quite good at just chewing through infantry very rapidly. Resistance immediately retreating up north. Folks are saying eastwards, Lieutenant going for the Folks and pushing them back here, and in the west we're going to push there as well for G.A.T, realising the situation might require that a bit more. There you go, quickly into the dart truck there with the cavalry rifle. Could be upgrading, but I'm guessing he wants to set up the munitions for the cavalry rifle and their Thompson submachine guns. Big push here. PFC bunching up his inventory to try and hose down all of G.A.T's troops. Moving in here, grab the centre big point with the Lieutenant. No Panzerfaust yet, and of course there's going to be a bit of a gambit here by G.A.T, like how quickly can he get the Panzerfaust ready. In fact, he has access to them now, and I suspect that's the way he's driving around like he is currently, because again, if he miscalculates his dart truck's going to go up, he might even lose the cavalry rifle squad in the centre. Of course, he might also be waiting for the Thompsons to get ready to make it a bit hard for him just to try and pop the Panzerfaust without losing a lot of his troops. So he's on the western fuel point there, good maneuvering so far by G.A.T, looks like he's going to try and switch up here approach. Instead of going for the big horde, he's going to probably try and look for isolated infantry squads and just overwhelm them with the dog truck, which is, I think, a much more sensible approach. And there you go. Cav Riflemen there going for the full scores, pushing them back here with heavy submachine gun fire, routing the unfortunate devils. Grabbing the car upon there, look, closing off the axis to the eastern fuel point there for PFC. Good play there, continuing to seize the western side. Troops retreating here, we got a 5th Cav following up here to help deal with all of PFC's infantry. PFC by himself is going for an MG34 to do vice versa against G.A.T's infantry. So both sort of have got an idea into their heads that the machine gun is pretty good, and in both cases, I'd say they're right. Right here, the Cav Rifleman encounters a bit of an issue. An awful lot of German infantry, a halt there from PFC, and G.A.T just makes the right decision. He immediately retreats because there's no way in hell his men might have a chance of surviving. It's only saving grace is that more PFC's focus had not been upgraded with assault rifles in time, otherwise that could have been a wipe down the rifle. In fact, down to just a sliver of health. There's again had to have been one more assault rifle upgrade there. Even then, that might not have been enough. So the 5th Cav here is going to prove absolutely crucial here for G.A.T. In fact, he might even require another one to help contain PFC's swarm assaults there. 5th Cav coming up there, go catching the forces. Sturmpanzer needs to put there some heavy fire. Well done. Ceasing towards these there. The rear echelons, of course, got a full squad on watch, ready to deal with that. You can sound good for the looks, Mr. PFC, but of course he may decide he wants the Puma instead. Positions there will have to, I think, fall back. He might try and pop them into the house. In fact, that's what he's doing to try and buy time, but we'll obviously see how successful that is. Full flank in the 5th Cav there, going for the full squad here with the Lieutenant Rifle. Very good, can fit in the flank there with the full squad as he wants. Push up the west side with the MD34, but there you go, getting flanked by a rifle squad. Good work there by G.A.T. Let's go at the PFC. I mean, it's good he's trying to play it aggressively, but the way I think he's playing it aggressively is a bit on the reckless side, and certainly gives G.A.T. a chance of getting a wipe. In this case, it did not materialise. Using the centre victory point. Push into the east here to wrap PFC from the eastern resources. Very good. G.A.T. certainly building up some good map control here versus a German opponent. And we got the looks like the outflanks pounds on the way here for PFC. Ambulance on the way for G.A.T and America. Dark Strike just continues to hammer away its 50 caliber, noting the Cav Riflemen are not in it currently. Sneaking up here in the far left flank, probably going to go for the fuel point, trying to harass it and draw G.A.T's attention towards it. If he doesn't, just safely secure the fuel point. Looks almost done here. Looks like we're going to see a major push in the west rather than trying to attack into here where G.A.T is ready with 50 calibers and everything. He's going to push to the west side here. But of course, we can see G.A.T is already moving into blocking positions. Rushing in the dark truck. And that probably won't be all. But even then, PFC's assault so far certainly going through well here. G.A.T's left positions are already vanished. And the dark truck on his own simply cannot stop such an infantry assault there from PFC in the German army. You got Luke's moving in there, which is certainly going to make things more uncomfortable here for the dark truck, as its auto cannon stretch the paper thin armor here on the truck. We got some speed there with step on it, but oh, looks like it actually does escape the looks here. Pretty close shave there though for G.A.T and America. Pretty close shave, but it does successfully pull it off. And we can see if also needs to begin to retreat. He has the flanks beginning to be exposed, but to the looks there's possibly no murdering if they retreat too slowly. So nice aggressive counter-attack over PFC, who has gone for spec ups. I haven't seen that one in a bit, but it is of course still very much a meta contender. Now then you've heard of out there for PFC to help further help deal with G.A.T's infantry. G.A.T will have to see what he does next. He could try and push for tanks fast. Instead we got another 50 cal to help deal with all of PFC's troops. It looks like bazookas, I think, are going to be a necessity. That is exactly what G.A.T has gone for there, equipping his resistance there with a pair of bazookas. Cav they're going for the flank, but at the same time flanking the eastern fuel point there. PFC keeping the pressure versus G.A.T and Democracy. 5th Cav number Thomas down there for G.A.T. Luke's heading eastwards there, folks, going up in the centre. Bit of skirmish on the west rifle there, pushed back by the MG34. There we go, got the Jar Truck opening up. 3 kills there, 4 kills. Bit of skirmishing, but nothing serious. Back here, troops reinforcing for G.A.T. Brandhand Grenada trying to flash them out. Oh, actually just a regular grenade assault. Bazooka team there opening up, and the Looks doing a lot bit of damage. But at the same time, they're negative coverage. It's a really bad spot to be in against the Looks. Since, I mean, they do take more damage and they are easier to hit, so that was a really bad combination there for G.A.T. He got lucky. He didn't lose the entire re-escalate squad there. Lieutenant 5th Cavalry on the west side, they put pressure there on PFC and east side, though PFC is grabbing away G.A.T's fuel point. Good work there. G.A.T committed to taking up swim rush out for armour. But of course, what is ahead? I mean, he might decide to go for something else. PFC looks though is giving G.A.T a bit of a hard time with the bazooka team up in the east. Successfully pushed PFC off the eastern fuel point. Very good. Back here, troops seeming reinforcing. Got bars up there to increase firepower versus PFC's full quantities. Very good idea there, though he's still going to be short into tank weapons, and that Puma's only going to make things a bit more awkward. Ooh, not entirely routine with that dart right there, but it almost seems like he's trying to throw it away, which would be less than optimal in the current circumstances. Back here, troops seeming reinforcing for G.A.T. As for PFC, we got reinforcement healing there as well. More assault rifles. Puma almost done the 234-2. There's overall a total of 4 versions of the 234 armoured car. The Puma probably being one produced in the smallest numbers. Setting out there swiftly. 5th Cavalry moving up to cover the centre here against any German incursions from PFC and the 9th Panzer Division. We got flares off from PFC, probably trying to get an idea what G.A.T is up to. Exactly. Major out there. In fact, if he pays attention to G.A.T, he get upgrade and alerting PFC to the fact that G.A.T is already taken up, but again, he may not, but even then, it's like not going to matter too much because the Major's out. Then as soon as PFC sees that, he should of course figure out his opponent has gone for the Major. G.A.T still some time from any tanks. At least 2.5 minutes or so before we get out a Sherman. Roughly. Thoughts they've been suppressed. Looks moving about though, giving G.A.T's troops a very hard time. They got the cavalry moving up there. Oh, not enough munition for the anti-tank side of the charge. Of course, PFC is not going to know that, so he may still end up playing it safe here with the looks rather than risk getting pummeled by the anti-vehicle side of charge, which of course could leave him short one looks. In the west, we've got rifle flanking up the MG-34. Without a grenade, that's going to be hard to get the kill fast enough there, but even then, might still manage here with the BARs. MG-34 crew very low in health, and oh, MG-34 number 2 to the rescue of PFC's first machine gun crew. Close shave there in the centre. We've got the looks hammering away there. Low on health here. We've got Major also equipped with bazookas, so G.A.T's got a lot of bazookas thumping about and blowing apart crowd tanks and vehicles. Back here, troops seeming reinforcing. Selves on top away from the Sherman or Jackson or whatever he wants to go for. There's a good team's moving eastwards. One of his planning there. Might be trying to sort of set up for an ambush, hoping to sort of bait a response into this and then hit it, you know, as they charge in, hit him with bazookas. That could be an idea there from him, but instead, it's actually PFC's doing it to G.A.T raiding his base with a Puma. Oh, close when they're taking out the ambulance, but G.A.T was able to react time to get it out of there. Close shave there, though. Close shave, and these we got here. And Dart Truck charging in the cavalry rifle in as well, but Thompson's. There we go. Pretty much running for the lone unit from actually popping the Panzerfaust, because if he did, he'd have to stand around there for long enough to get murdered by the cavalry rifleman. And even then, he still ends up doing it. So, nice work there by G.A.T. Completely floored PFC's charging his looks, but of course, we've got the bazooka teams blocking any pursuit unless he wants that looks to go down like those Fultgundies, and he, IMAC, does not. Fult's coming up. He's going to need a 5th Cavalry to cover the flank here. We got one over here, but we'll be able to react in time. 5th Cavalry continue to cover the centre there, and we got more Fultons to replace the ones there for PFC and Deutschland. Major already suffering minor losses in the face of PFC's infantry assault. Need to get there. We go. 5th Cavalry up, quickly suppressing the field grey horde there that PFC is unleashing upon him, and no smoke of course means it's much safer. There we go. Oh, he lost it. Almost getting the looks in return though, but he did lose the Dart Truck in the centre here. Troops being suppressed by the 5th Cavalry. Oh no, man, that's an MG-34, which suppresses the 5th Cavalry in return as well. More bars up for G.A.T. More BARs. He can't get the Sherman out now. Of course, he might go for the 7.6mm Sherman instead, for something with a bit more punch. But now we do get the regular M4A3 Sherman tank on the way there for G.A.T and America. 6th Armoured Division there suffering a withering firestorm on the centre. There you go. Trying to flank up with the cavalry rifle and catching the Sturm Pioneers. But the Sturm Pioneers are catching them. Of course, got the looks as well. Good. Yep, does force retreat there from the cavalry rifle, who were, I think, chewing off a bit more than they, or biting off a bit more than they could chew. Not the other way around. Fortunately, preventing a push there from G.A.T in towards the point here. Still, he's grabbing the far west fuel point alongside the victory point, denying his opponent fuel, while of course securing himself even more fuel. So good work there by G.A.T. Sherman almost done. Plus we've got a mortar on the way to help deal with some old PFC support weapons. I think that's a very good decision there. I mean, with so machine guns about, a mortar could just alone on that one be a good pick, but of course it also provides some just general artillery support, which never hurts.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
There you go. M43 Sherman, he's fit to go to high explosive rounds. He obviously knows the Puma's about there, but he's also prioritizing just murdering PFC's infantry, because if there's nothing to back up the Puma, then the Puma's certainly going to be a bit vulnerable to certain things. I think in most cases people would just focus on getting rid of the Puma first before focusing on the infantry, so in that regard, G.A.T here is certainly making some interesting decisions. And then go engage the MD-34, we've got the Puma moving up here. Sherman misses. Oh, exposed right where there you go. Puma misses. Sherman misses again. So managed to get a kill proc from the machine there. Kid and Puma moving up the Sherman. Cutting off quite a bit of its health then, leaving it at less than half health now. Might want to upgrade it with the dozer blade there to make it harder to kill for PFC. That could in fact be a really good investment there for G.A.T. Also being pushed back with the cav rifle up the east side. Here we got the bazooka team moving up to try and catch the looks and finish it off. We got Stuart Pioneer rushing in. He's going to like to have to retreat here in the face of the PFC's intense defense. And there you go, routed, but at the same time PFC's center collapses. And able to withstand the raw force there of G.A.T's infantry push. Car off from there. Ooh, dodging there, grenade assault. It seems like PFC at least partly through that, trying to catch off G.A.T in return, but G.A.T was still a bit faster than that. Go Folks being taken out. In fact, almost wiped out. Back at healing, reinforcement going on for G.A.T and America. Got the center victory ports, he's in the western one, eastern one, also under control here of G.A.T and Democracy. Looks for 11 kills. In the center we got Ralph there versus the MG34. Catching them in an awkward spot there, PFC. Again, playing them actually, but need to be careful not to play them recklessly. There's a bit of a fine line there to tread. But there you go, flanking up behind it, doing heavy damage. Not enough to finish it off, but even enough to sort of push it away. And there you go, big swarm infantry there for PFC again. Looking to punish G.A.T and pull off those sort of smaller moves. Looks for 12 kills without the center. Sherman good to go once more. Still no sign of a dozer blade here from G.A.T. He can soon go for the 76mm Sherman. He can just go for another Sherman. There you go. Finally catches the looks and absolutely wrecks it in a deluge of bazooka rockets. Good work there by G.A.T. Bad development for PFC, who has certainly shot one of his options for dealing with the infantry. Sherman here going for the MD-34, flanking there with high explosive rounds. No upgrades for it at all. MD-34 there. Could just getting wiped out. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not. Bazooka team's taking the Puma a bit of bait, but got a lot of infantry clearing the way here for the Puma. Good work. MD-34 dodged there, another high explosive round there from G.A.T's Sherman. Not far off from the 76mm Sherman we got here in the east, or centre folks moving up there. Back here, Academy up for PFC, alongside the second one there to help deal with G.A.T's armour. What will G.A.T go for? 75 or 76mm Sherman? As a fun side note, Sherman crews preferred the 75mm gun over the 76mm gun because the 75mm gun had better high explosive rounds, and for most tank crews they're actually quite concerned about infantry and the support weapons, which point the high explosive rounds are just so much better than the 76mm gun. So obviously enemy tanks were concerned. Again, it just highlights how dangerous infantry could be, that they prefer the high explosive rounds of the 75mm Sherman, which is overall pretty good. Folks are being rapidly returned the rifle on the west side. Here we've got the Sherman dealing with the Folks there, pushing them back with some high explosive firepower. Moving up through the centre, trying to outmaneuver G.A.T's to position there as well. MD-34 holding up the eastern assault. Good work there by PFC. And he's starting to get very close here to the Command Panther, whereas G.A.T is certainly a bit short there. He can go for the 76mm Sherman now. He could also go for Jackson Tank Destroyer. He could of course just go for another regular Sherman. But I do think you should also consider just upgrading that Sherman with dozer blades. No idea how actual dozer blades would have helped, tank be more survived, but it was actually common for Sherman crews and tank crews in general to try and supplement the armor of the tanks with different measures, in some cases adding spare treads and other sort of kits. Some would add wooden logs, some would add sandbags, and some would even just weld on extra armor. Sort of that way try and make the tank's armor a bit more effective. It was also a common trick there by the Germans. Puma there, firing away 2 kills, closing the mission to 1. Sherman almost done there for G.A.T and the 6th Armoured. In the west here, Rifleman being swarmed by G.A.T. PFC's focus on these there. He's very, very close to the command panther. He's almost got the resources. He's just needs the command point besides that, really. Needs MD-34 Kidman holding up the line here, but they are being assaulted here by G.A.T, who sees no such obstacle he cannot clear, it seems, within his infantry. There you go. 76mm Sherman out there for G.A.T. Equipped with Will E76mm gun. Moving westward there with the Sherman. Back here, troops in reinforcing. Got the Sherman up westward here. Halfway to Veterans 1. Continuing onwards there aggressively as the foot there go. Came off on the flank, causing the Sherman taking a bit of an issue here. We got the Puma moving up as well there. Sherman down to half health, need to be mindful. In the centre, we got Mortar with major support then moving up. We got the troops tank flanking. Then you heard 4 there you go. Forces retreat. Very good play there. Even as the tanks are not making progress, G.A.T is making plenty of opportunity out of the again. The tanks are drawing a lot of attention from PFC to do damage with the infantry also. So thumbs up there to G.A.T. In fact, he's setting out for flanking with infantry. Very good. Bazooka teams whatnot going. Sherman charging ahead. It could have thrown down some smoke. Trying to catch up here. The Puma misses though. Puma pops smoke. Lieutenant range cover up there. Posing way for the infantry there. Really nice flank. And there goes Sherman. Takes a hit there. Should pop smoke. Smoke. G.A.T. Grenade assault off here. Most of the grenades miss. Folks they're close being robbed out here. And we could see a wipe. We could see a wipe. Oh! At the same time, Sherman's in trouble. There you go. Wipe the Fult's going to release. The Puma's pursuing the Sherman though. More troops moving in here. 50 calibers moving up to support there. Sherman number 2 moving in there. Almost got the full support there as well. Could be seeing another wipe. No, this Sherman explodes. And we could see the other Sherman here go down to the Puma. Sadly, no smoke screens at all from G.A.T. Bit of an oversight, and PFC can now go for the Command Panther. So he's just about to lose both tanks, while his opponent has, well, lost some infantry, but nothing quite as crucial. So that was definitely a weak engagement there for G.A.T. and really puts PFC in a strong position, at least force-wise and map-wise. He is behind on G.A.T, but again, with most of G.A.T's army, shall we say, evaporating like that, or at least the tanks, there certainly should be an opportunity to sort of push map control harder here versus G.A.T. It's going to require some really good footwork there from G.A.T, I think, to minimise the potential. Then it's going to require, again, just playing the infantry extremely well, and more importantly, denying PFC's infantry in advance. Command Panther taking hits there from anti-tank rifle grenades and bazooka shots there. 50 cover doing to cancel things up, and there you go. More rifle flanks there on PFC's positions. Very good, very good. He's basically trying to keep PFC on the defensive unit who's lost units to try and contain him that way, hoping it works out, at which point he can protect more than that by just forcing PFC to focus on defending himself. 50 cover there versus focuses in the east. Very good. Panther down to less than half health. Love to see what G.A.T goes for next, but at this point, I probably expect the M36 Jackson. MG34 there, covering up the retreat path of the Command Panther. Good work there, good work. More fire there, MG34 routed. Got a big push in towards these two. Basically trying to swing around there. G.A.T's moves there to sort of try and swing the game around. That's definitely not a bad idea at all. Definitely not a bad idea at all. Moving up the east side rapidly. Got 150 cover locking up the way there. And he neatly cuts down poor Ludwig. More resistance there for G.A.T, probably from mines with them. Not just be laying down mines with them. Or getting bazookas, obviously. That should have been something I should consider there. 50 cover around here by the Puma flanking it. Almost wiping out. And there we go. Very good aim shot there. Point blank range. Basically just kills 3/4 of the unit. Brutal stuff there from PFC's Puma. Brutal stuff. Bazooka team though saving the day there for the remaining 50 caliber gunner. Even though it has been, I would say, otherwise thoroughly ruined. Having his mates been about part like that. Moving up and seemingly disrupting here PFC's repair of his Command Panther. Not bad at all there by G.A.T, not bad at all. There you go, grenade assault into the bastion here, causing some casualties amongst G.A.T's infantry, but not enough to deter them from fighting onwards for democracy. Back here, Jackson going for the Puma, and the Puma stands no chance against the Jackson's 19mm gun, which shatters the more flimsy frame of the 234-2. Cav there routed by the Command Panther. So what will G.A.T do next? He sort of managed to slowly catch up here with PFC again after those losses. They're trying to get rid of those Puma. That Puma will also have a bunch. Mortified joining in here from G.A.T's mortar crew there. Landing close to the folks, but not quite enough. Bazooka team and mortar needs to get the devil out of there. Fifth coming up here, going to creep up and probably sort of hose down those folks committees with some well applied heavy machine gun fire. Moving in the Hawk there, Lieutenant found the retreat path there, turned into a brutal gauntlet. There's 3 folks scored for the swap after just threatening to wipe them up. They're going in grenade assaults, really trying his best to land the white. Was actually pretty close there in this case. G.A.T does get lucky. Significantly so. Moving up the west side, they take the resource there again, realizing that G.A.T is focused east. PFC swings west. Good play there by PFC. Good play, good response. Now then, you've had fun way the PFC and the German army can further look to contain G.A.T's infantry, as PFC realizes that G.A.T's infantry right now is in fact one of the biggest issues with PFC. The way he's handling it was also the fact they just pack a lot more firepower now than the folks committees in with assault rifles, which actually highlights that might have been a bit of a mistake for him to go for more folks committees like that. But anyways, it's not like he's got much else. Cavalry rifle and the rifle going for the folks of the Sturm Pioneers. Quick cut on the part, they've got virtually 3 Sturm Pioneers, but then have to retreat in the face of the ace cavalry riflemen. Just slaughtering all before them if they can get them close enough. 5th card then pinged down in these two by the MG34. Scott on the way there for G.A.T to help deal with some PFC stuff. More importantly, I'm making the support weapons. And of course, just doubles the amount of artillery Scott in the field, whereas PFC actually has no artillery. And there you go, flanking the MG34. Almost got it there, but not quite. PFC sneak up here, harassing the western field point there with the Kedna for good play, but G.A.T is more than happy to return the favour of the east. And there you go, M8 Scott, howitzer, motor carriage out there for G.A.T. Bit of self-propelled artillery. Back here, troops reinforcing, healing, getting ready for the next big push. Power up and going for the Kedna effort. Now to see what PFC goes for next. He could try and go for the Belgrade headquarters, but he can't even go for the King Tiger. So Schwerpanzer headquarters just for more medium armor might be the better choice here versus G.A.T before G.A.T just swarms with armor. Season Eastern Fuel Point. We got 249 versus 371. Shot fight there, misses the MG34 crew spectacularly. Spectacularly. Fixing up the Scott. Or not. In the west here, another swarm assault there by PFC. As he routes G.A.T's cavalry riflemen. Bazooka teaming up, there was the Command Panther shots bouncing off the 80mm of sloped armor. Jackson on the hand is having no such issues. Punches through the Command Panther's armor. There you go, Kedma's covering up here. Direct pursuit by the Jacksons. Good work there. Almost got the Jackson in fact, but G.A.T is able to salvage there with a sliver of health. That is certainly close. The Bazooka team's also now falling back here, unable to pursue the Panther any further. Folks coming up here again, sort of swarm tactics there, hitting the flank there of G.A.T's retreat paths. Good play there. Albeit a bit dirty. Scott's firing and missing. Need to get some 5th covers on it. And there we go. Turns just in time. Good work there. And suddenly PFC's flank running some issues. He's charging in the Command Panther, but despite being low on health there. Gets the Jackson, so it did pay off there for PFC, but I would have to describe that as a pretty risky move. But I'm sure it's banking on G.A.T, probably not quite expecting that to happen. Anyways, Lieutenant pushing back the folks to the 50 cover there, taking minor catch to the Command Panther. We got 4 kills on it. He got 237 to 370. And Lieutenant hold here by the MG34. 9 kills and virtually 3. Still anything signs of anything further there for G.A.T in terms of tech. Oh, we got the truck on the way there, but obviously it becomes the Belgrade headquarters, the Schwerpanzer headquarters. As for G.A.T, more tanks will not be a bad idea at all. He could in theory just go for another Scott and hope the Jackson Bazooka team is sufficient to keep the Command Panther at bay and just further try and just slaughter PFC's infantry, at least keep it at bay. So there you go, Schwerer Wehrmacht-Schlepper. Arriving here for PFC and the 9th Panzer Division. And these two got the Scott or the MG34 from the mortar. Nice use of the mortar in general there by G.A.T. Troops pinned down here in the west, and the further west off we got the MG34. They're dealing with troops. We've got a 5th cover setting up here, although it's a negative cover, which makes it easier to deal with there for the MG34. In fact, can easily allow it to be pinned as well. So that was not quite smoothly done there by G.A.T. Scott fire there, and the MG34 was hit virtually 4. 50 Cal's holding up. And there you go, Kedman's caught as well. They're immediately suffering staggering casualties there. Scott almost finishing off on like Kedman Cruz. Very good there in the west. MG-34 ends up falling back there as the rifle with the bar flanks successfully. No sign of combined arms here by G.A.T, unfortunately, or anything else really. We've got one CAD rifle squad and we've got one dart shot. And the 7 signal shown, that's it, which I guess isn't entirely bad. In fact, all he needs to do is use a mortar after and combined arms. He's got full doctrinal bingo. Command Panther running ahead here though for G.A.T. Gonna raid the base, probably take out the ambulance. We can see there as soon as G.A.T sort of senses it, he begins pulling away the ambulance to avoid such a move there. Good move, response by G.A.T, good response. Thumbs up. We got 230 versus 357. Cameron going for it. Oh, he got too close, and we got the anti-tank sabotage charge there against the Command Panther. Damaging the engine, leaving the Panther there much more sluggish and a much easier target for G.A.T's vehicles and infantry. They did lose the Jackson, it seems. Of course they did, so he only got the little teams, and he's not really got anything to sort of quickly run down the Command Panther and take it out. On the west side here, things are going slowly. The centre worst there, we got folks that are being flanked here. And of course got the Zug teams bringing up. We might try and get up behind team, get behind the Panther. Oh, we got artillery called in here. I think to try and break up sort of advance here by PFC, maybe catch some units. Oh, they might have thought there was a decoy, but it wasn't. It wasn't. That could have been much more painful for PFC, but in this case he realised he's gone forward too late and retreated. We got 211 versus 357. Another trot on the way there for PFC. Oh, he lost the other one. Looks like, oh, he made a mistake. Unfortunate, though great for G.A.T, delaying whatever he had planned to build there. So there he goes, taking the truck out. Hopefully this time he's a bit more cautious with it. Those things don't exactly grow on trees. Otherwise, I'm sure the German army would have fared much better if they did. Troop seizing points in the east. We've got another Sherman away there for G.A.T. Another 76mm Sherman to be specific. We shall have to see how that one performs compared to the previous ones, which in some cases did not exactly get to do a lot before PFC exploded them. MG-34, there's a Fulton there. Oh, MG-50 cover there. We got 5 being flanked here and swarmed by the MG-34s. In the centre, Command Panther pushing back here. G.A.T's alternative tried to make a bold move for the car point there. Not bad at all. MG-54 almost being taken out by the artillery fire and the 50 cover fire here. Really just aggressive machine gun play there as well by G.A.T. But the 50 cover, of course, is just even more suited for it compared to like the German and the British machine guns because it's faster to move about. Camera from here, 28 kills. Oh, he might try for another satchel charge here, but this time the Command Panther, no, doesn't get away. Grenade assault there, misses the mark. Rifle flanking up in there, go Command Panther with a damaged engine again. West side assault, they continue. We've got the 50 gun moving ahead here, 19 kills, troops being slaughtered out in the open. We got the MG-34 dropped here, leaving only one to go there to keep G.A.T's forces at bay. Command Panther just stuck, rifling up to try and flank the MG-34 there, and we see a further collapse here of PFC's western positions as he has begun to move eastwards, but without any armoured support, his Sturmpioneer is an easy prey for the 76mm Sherman. Ooh, a lot of stuff going on here. We got MG-34 there still being routed. Photo squad number 4 almost done there for PFC again. Sherman sitting out for G.A.T. Looking for some targets to shoot to bits. Command Panther returning the favour here. Sherman down to half health. Less than that. G.A.T definitely be more cautious with his arm and work it better with infantry, which does seem to be one of his weaknesses so far. Graham Eastern victory point. We got 132 versus 357. Hard to say what PFC is playing at. With that schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper, is it the Panzer headquarters or will it be the Battle Group headquarters? Lieutenant routed. And it's a Schwer Panzer headquarters up here for PFC. Can be Panzers, maybe some Obersoldaten. Obersoldaten could certainly help here with some more of the very upgraded infantry that G.A.T's got on the field, noting he's lost, oh, he's still got the Carraf now with 29 kills. Which of course is very good. And we go for the Cordia bar. The Martin there, we got info for pound counting card for the Volkskammer is very good. He could pop in any armor piercing rounds. 100 points left for PFC versus G.A.T with the 357. Going for the center to pump it all into issues there. The Zuga team moving up. Quick shots then the Command Panther. And you've heard for the hosing down G.A.T's infantry. We've got 89 versus 357. Back here, troops are reinforcing for G.A.T.
We're losing a capture point.
And you've heard running westwards, halfway to ace level there. Good work by Mr. PFC in keeping that one alive and using it effectively. Moving up to the west side with infantry machine gun support there to back it up with. Command Panther responsive to the armoured threat in the east. In the centre, 50 caliber host down there by... Well, MG for the host down by the 50 caliber. Sherman needs to be careful against the Panther. It's a shame here for G.A.T to lose his Sherman. PFC's Panther though gains 32 shots and added charges ahead now. Doesn't care about what could happen, it seems. But it should, as we got a Bazooka team flanking up on the west side there. PFC's making another move here to open up fresh territory. Good move, I would say, there by PFC. Though situation all remains pretty sticky. You can soon go for the Panther 4 versus G.A.T. You got 79 versus 355. There you go. G.A.T just charging it with infantry. Slightly more broad approach. Heading there, PFC's forces. Machine gun still abandoned. Machine gun there being pushed back. Panther 4 on the way there for PFC and the 9 Panthers shown. There you go. Coach them. You for the wing cleared up with the counter arm. They got 31 kills. And likely going to get 32. Nope. Oh, they get it. Alternate. One of them is equipped with a BAR. Will he grab any of those MG-54 forces? He's just going to destroy them. In the east here, grab the eastern victory point away there from PFCs. Climb your hands, and there you go. Straight into the scrap hunted quarters. Retreat there for G.A.T. Did not try to seize that MG-34, so there's a good chance there for PFC to grab it back and turn against G.A.T once more. Panther 4 almost down there to join in the 9th Panzer Division in his hunt for Yankees. Command Panther setting out their 11 kills to its name. Scott falling back. 75 points left, 73. I cannot landing good here on the Panther side armor. Scott shoots pointlessly at these Panther, which is just bounces off the shot, ignoring it. Sham moving up there, but exposes rear to the Command Panther. Not just going at it too much, but direct hit from the Kevin from the Panther in the centre. Got the Panther moving up here, engaging the Scott head on. Almost got up then G.A.T's rifleman, but looks like the rifleman successfully evaded death by PFCs. No, does not. He does not. Panther 4 there, got the Scott. Moving in here, we got the Sherman nearby ready to put a stop there to PFC's Panzer Rampage. Go direct hit here. Note that he's actually firing the HVAC rounds, which has a higher penetration, but lower rate of fire. Shot bounced at point blank range in with the HVAC rounds against the Panther 4. Cat rifling up, the might head off there into tank self charge to finish it off, and there we go. Bob's your uncle. Panther 4 misses, gets blown apart. Sham there with 1 kill, veterans 1. We got 27 here versus 349. The situation for the PFC is starting to look very desperate. Very desperate. 25 points left. She's in the scientific point, but 50 holding up things there. West side has been secured slowly there, at least slightly by PFC. Grabbing the eastern one as well. 50 cal moving up to deal with that though. And we got another Jackson tank on the way there for G.A.T and America.
Tank destroyer is ready for action.
Folks are there being suppressed in the center 50 cal there with 12 kills. Going for the west one, but there you go. MU-34 there holding the last point for PFC for Germany. And PFC's horrendously lost for Germany, a victory for America, freedom, democracy. I will say a win here for G.A.T's really good infantry plays. Our play had to say some issues with it, but infantry-wise, he was really good at pulling off some great flanks versus PFC, which made it much harder for PFC to defend. Comparatively, PFC struggles as the mid to late game happened. He also, I think, sort of tactically didn't perform quite on the same level as G.A.T. which all just allow G.A.T to dictate the pacing of the battles and also just control the map more efficiently, whereas PFC just tend to rely a lot on the blobs, and once G.A.T of course had that countered, PFC really just lost a lot of momentum and strength. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Linking. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another Sonic episode. Bye.